everybody. It's Tuesday, January 17th at around 4:20 in the afternoon. So I figured I'd come back on if I was feeling it and do some cards with you. Yesterday I kind of rambled on about just like an emotional fog that I've been in, you know, which is therapeutic in itself to be able to like speak about things that are sometimes ineffable. So I appreciate y'all tolerating that and letting me put that out. I barely got to the card reading at the end, but I think I did. And so today, gosh, we've got like, what's today? The 17th. Okay, so less than like 72 hours of Mercury retrograde, which is wonderful. And then we have the new moon coming up in Aquarius at 2 degrees. And then we have Uranus going direct at, I can't remember, I think it's like, 12 or 14 or something like that, 14 degrees up for us, somewhere in there. It's been like hovering over my Sarah's at 17 in the 8th house. So like I know a lot of the stuff that I've been dealing with is kind of heavy, you know, even emotionally, but you know, it is nurturing for me and my soul and my spirit at a really deep level. So I do appreciate that kind of self-care, that kind of self-inquiry. And today and tomorrow we're dealing with the sun conjunct Pluto in Capricorn at 28, 29 degrees Capricorn. So, whew, yeah, I mean, it's that time of year. Digging in the trenches, personally and collectively. But let's see what we got going on for today in the wild unknown. The Magician upside down. So let's hear what the wild unknown has to say about that. Okay. And again, this is upside down, so it's either blocked or being misused, or like kind of the energy of the card is like subverted in some way. So it says the Magician is a card of boundless, expansive energy. Whereas many of the major arcana deal with the stillness or aspects of the mind, this card is about action, action, action. It's time to see yourself as the wildcat. Embrace his speed, grace, and abilities. Don't be afraid to begin. You have the power of all 4 elements within your reach. Now is the time to use them. And so when we have that blocked, maybe we do have a lot of like internal stirring and momentum happening, and we've got representation of all 4 suits, you know, which can be considered or similar to like the 4 elements, 4 or 5 elements. And then we've got the symbol of power and strength of the, I guess, leopard or cheetah as the primary figure in this card, who also has an infinity sign, kind of spotted on his chest there, with a big bursting sun in the background. So when we're dealing with this kind of energy that's either blocked or being misused, it means that we have all the resources at our disposal to basically make magic happen. That's what the Magician is all about. Magic in everyday life and kind of, you know, more intricate ritualistic magic that can be likened to like full moon or new moon rituals, or, you know, reflections around that time as an example. But with it being blocked, you know, when the card says it's about action, 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 you know, that means that probably we have an impulse for action, but it doesn't necessarily mean the ability to execute the action. So that is our first card for today, and it is a major arcana card. And there's something about this card I I feel like is a little, I have mixed feelings when I pull this card, because sometimes, like, you know, depending on the reading that I'm doing, I can see it upright as someone who is basically using like dark magic to manipulate emotionally and socially and spiritually. So, you know, maybe some of the reversed aspects of it are giving us pause before we make actual action with all the elements at our disposal, or all the attributes of what's needed for whatever situation at our disposal. But it's giving us pause. It's giving us, before that action takes place, we have some reflective time to kind of sit with the notion that everything that's needed is available and readily available, like readily usable. Sometimes withholding action can be harder than propelling forward action when there's momentum behind it, like the momentum that's naturally found in a wildcat. I believe that's a leopard. I think that's a leopard. But that wild, ferocious energy, the vitality in a wildcat and in a leopard, you know, is ignited by that infinity symbol kind of on their breastplate there, on his breastplate. So he can recycle that energy for momentum, especially if it's being blocked at this moment. And so we can do the same thing. Like, I had a lot of energy the last 2 weeks, but I wasn't able to necessarily express myself about it. So I recycled a lot of those thoughts and feelings and the energy behind that stuff that I kind of processed over the last couple weeks. And now I can do these videos, and you know, that could be an example of the Magician reversed. So that's our first card. Let's see what we got. What else we got going on here? I don't know why. Sometimes I feel the need to reshuffle in between card pulls. That is the 7 of Wands reversed. So we've got a lot of like reversed energy today. The single flame in an opening or a clearing where otherwise there would be darkness. And let's see what that card has to say for us today. Seven of Wands is courage and inner strength. A single wand stands up tall, ablaze with light. The others fall away in the shadow. Such is the story of the Seven of Wands. You'll not find any strength or support from others, only yourself. It's time to be truly courageous and stand up for your beliefs. You may feel overwhelmed with caution and fear, but your internal fire will guide the way. So courage in standing up for your beliefs. And then if it's reversed, maybe feeling weak in our own will and drive to stand up for what we believe in, even if we do know that there's momentum and action behind it with all resources available. Earth, fire, air, and water is personified in the swords, pentacles, wands, and cups. And then this is a wand suit. So again, action and drive that's being inhibited or blocked or recycled potentially. But there is a great light in the clearing of that darkness. So, you know, a fire, an ember burning brightly internally with courage and strength that again might not be able to be readily utilized right at this moment. That's what's speaking to me. So if you guys have been feeling like blocked lately, you know, if we look at the astrology with the Mercury retrograde and Mars retrograde for what feels like forever, and Uranus retrograde, and all of those will be direct by the end of the week, which I believe all planets will be direct at that point, which is going to allow a lot of forward momentum for the energy and kind of swirling cohesion of the inner flame and all your resources coming together to provide, you know, what I hope would be a beneficial outcome for everyone involved, regardless of the situation. So let's see what our third card is. Oh, the High Priestess reverse. So we did get a lot of reversed cards this week. So the energy is kind of maybe inward focused. Reverse cards are a lot like retrograde planets. It's not like the energy of the planetary aspect or planetary characteristics aren't there. They're just maybe inhibited, dampened down, turned inward, or being misused. So like with Mercury retrograde, there's a lot of where Mercury represents communication and comprehension and expressive ways of like sharing internal environments. Mercury retrograde can be a lot of inhibition in that area, and maybe snafus or technical difficulties or, you know, communication inhibitions. But the bottom line is that the planet Mercury itself still represents communication, whether it is being perceived in a retrograde motion or is in a direct motion. Same with the cards, is this card still represents the energy of the High Priestess, whether it's inverted, inward focused, you know, being kind of like diffused as opposed to like a straightforward energy. The High Priestess energy is still there. And also notice that we got 2 cards with wildcats on them. That looks to me to be a white tiger. But we got 2 cards where, even though they're, you know, all reversed, 2 cards with wildcats, very large cats. So there's something there. Passion, drive, vitality, ferociousness, you know, vital life force, basically, that is behind those cards. And then let's look at the High Priestess. So again, even though it's reversed, it still represents the High Priestess itself. And the High Priestess is the 2nd card of the major arcana, and it represents mystery and psychic wisdom. The High Priestess sits in stillness. From there, she's able to access realms others pass by without noticing, the vast world of intuition, dreams, and mystery. She uses silence and non-action to harness this power. Sometimes this card appears to remind you to listen more closely to the voice within. Other times it's a sign to look past the obvious, to find what's being kept secret or hidden within a given situation. Acknowledge the shadows. As I was reading that, the Sun conjunct Pluto transit that's occurring right now really kind of popped out to me with these energies. So, you know, a lot of vital force, but maybe an inward motion or an inhibited motion of the energy behind these cards. So very cool. I mean, that reading is very, to me, reflective of, you know, where the collective and personal energy is at right now. And then just for fun, I was going to pull one of these chakra cards like I did yesterday. Yesterday on the way out, I had to pee so bad. So I'm sorry that the, you know, the descriptions of the cards were a little shortened, but I had, you know, you gotta go. So I am going to pull one of these bad boys out. All right, joy. Oh, we so need that. We totally need that right now. Like, with all this smoldering energy, joy is definitely so needed right now. And I like this card a lot too. The woman is just kind of, she's got her eyes closed. She's got sunflowers all over her dress. Her hands are thrown in the air, and she's just a happy camper. She's experiencing that childlike innocence and joy. And I'll read from this one. Dancing Daisy is what the card is, and it's yellow, so it's sacral chakra, so identity, persona, personality, finding joy in one's personality and persona. That's really cool. I appreciate that a lot. And the card says, let's jump and see what happens. We don't know much about Dancing Daisy, but what we do know is that she brings joy wherever she appears. Everyone who sees her becomes happier and more peaceful. Arguments cease as she comes close. People are even healed physically as well as a result of her presence. No one knows where she came from, and just before the TV crews arrive, she leaves. Dancing Daisy represents a new joyous phase in life and a significant change, such as a move, a new job, or a marriage. In this moment, after you leap, you may not see where you are going, but you will land on your feet. That's great. That's wonderful. That's very inspirational. Personal inquiry. What can I do to invent happiness into my life? Being present is not the same as truly experiencing something. Very true. And that's where the emotions come in. That's why emotions are so important, because they make what's real to us as far as what our experience of it is. And then key ideas: a conduit for joy, detached from joy, higher purpose, profoundly impacting lives, improved health, a birth. Keywords: joy, playfulness, and delight. And the meditation is sit with Dancing Daisy, look at her and allow her joy to fill you. Now imagine a ball of sunshine in your solar plexus. Let it expand, allowing the room to be filled with the radiant energy. Send it out to the universe with love. Things manifest quickly after touching this energy. I would agree. I think joy is like a great attractor, a great magnetic attractor. And I think having joy in whatever you do and who you are as a person can really begin to attract the things in your life that increase joy. So we were talking a lot about momentum in the other cards, and maybe a lot of action being formulated kind of like behind the manifestation of it or prior to the manifestation of it. But joy, I think, is what helps to create that momentum and propel that momentum forward so that we can actualize these things that are in our wildest dreams even. Yeah, I have lost my train of thought there. I was going to say something else, but yeah, yellow being the solar plexus, like really trying to find joy in our personal identity and our personal ability to share ourselves. I think that is really enhanced when we allow time for like concentrated energy and maybe uncomfortable situations or uncomfortable emotions to kind of fully play themselves out and transmute into something greater or better or more conducive for the current time. So those are our cards for today, January 17th, 2023. It's a Tuesday. I hope you guys are having a fabulous day. I also wanted to, today the moon is in Sagittarius and the sun is in Capricorn. So the sun is in Capricorn and the moon is in Sagittarius. So I think I'm going to add that into these videos, just letting you guys know like where the sun and moon are for each video, to kind of also give us a little bit of more astrological energy behind the tarot readings. So have a beautiful evening, have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon.